Welcome back to Never Enough Novels. With the new year approaching, I thought it would be the perfect time to share a few bookish New Year's resolutions that you can try. I have 8 options to share with you today that are all reading related, so you can pick and choose a few, or maybe just pick one to focus on in 2025. These are easily adaptable to any type of reader, so no matter how many books you normally read, or what format you typically read in, or where you have books available to you, hopefully you can find a few of these resolutions that could be helpful. Let's get right into it. The first idea I have is to utilize your library more often. I know not everyone has access to a public library, but most of us do, and if you have one near you or available to you, then I challenge you to try and visit it or use their resources more often. I am personally a huge lover of libraries, and I know that they rely on patron support, whether by attending their events or visiting in person or checking out materials online to get access to the funding that they desperately need. Libraries are so much more than just picking up physical copies of books. Did you know that they often have access to digital copies like ebooks and audiobooks through apps or websites like Hoopla, Libby, and Overdrive? They allow you to check out books like ebooks that you can read on your Kindle or audiobooks that you can listen to anywhere absolutely free. You can always visit your library's website or ask them in person if they have these services available. Typically, you only need a library card number to get access, and you'll be able to start browsing their online catalog. Plus, in person, they always have tons of really interesting events, as well as a lot more than just books that you can check out. Like, my library alone has a huge selection of DVDs, they have cake pans that you can borrow, magazines. We even have library passes for local museums and attractions, so you can go and visit these things for free. There are a whole host of services that libraries have available, so my favorite resolution, and the one that I wanted to kick off this list with, is to use that library more often. My next suggestion for a resolution is to complete a reading challenge this year. If you haven't heard of these before, a reading challenge is just typically a list of prompts that will get you to read different types of books throughout the year. The length varies wildly from maybe a book a month to a book every single week to just a random list of prompts that you can pick and choose throughout the year. I know that Pop Sugar always has one that's very popular, and I'll put the links to everything that I'm talking about down below so you can easily click on anything that you're interested in. But Pop Sugar has their 2025 reading challenge already available. It has 40 different prompts that I think they sourced from a lot of their own reading challenge users. So it's kind of a wide variety of things this year that you can check off throughout the year. Some of my good blogging friends also have their own reading challenges. So over at the Booklist Queen, you can find a 52-week challenge that will encourage you to read a different type of book each week. And I know Rachel does a great job of coming up with really unique ideas for these prompts. And if you sign up for her newsletter, she also gives you ideas for which books to read for each prompt, which can be very helpful. I also always love recommending my friend Jules from The Literary Lifestyle because she does a really unique Rory Gilmore reading challenge. So for all you Gilmore Girls fans out there, she is your go-to person for Gilmore Girls reading-related content, and her reading challenge is really fun each year. I have also created a romance reading challenge in the past because I personally just loved romance books, and I found there weren't a lot of romance-related reading challenges out there, so I'll put the link to my own past reading challenges as well, which are just kind of a fun way to expand your romance reading throughout the year. Another resolution that's very common but very simple is just to set a number of books read goal for the year. So I have a love-hate relationship with this idea because sometimes setting a reading goal based on a number of books can limit what you read, or I sometimes shy away from larger books because then they don't count towards the goal as quickly. But in general, I found it helpful to just kind of set a goal that I can reach for throughout the year. If I don't hit it, it's not a big deal, but it also just kind of helps me compare my reading habits to previous years so that I know how I'm spending my free time, whether it's, reading books or just scrolling aimlessly through my phone. So I find that setting a number of books goal just is kind of a benchmark for me to ensure that I am reading as much as I actually want to. I also use my own Excel reading tracker to keep track of the books that I'm reading. It has a nice little place where you can input the number of books that you want to read, and we'll show you a little progress bar throughout the year. So it's really satisfying when you actually hit that goal and can see the little status bar as complete. If you're interested, you can purchase my reading tracker for only $5. It's something that I developed myself and I absolutely love because it has everything that I want out of an Excel tracker, like a detailed reading log where you can put half-star ratings and a bunch of analysis on one tab that has charts and graphs that kind of show you information about your reading habits throughout the year. Another resolution idea is to join a book club and actually attend. I have long looked afar at book clubs and wistfully wanted to join, but it's something that I'm terrible at myself because I'm such a homebody that getting out of the house and actually going to a book club or wanting to read the book that they pick always just seems too daunting. But I know that they can be really great moments for other readers and form meaningful connections that people have their whole lives. There's a lot of different ways you can find book clubs locally, whether it's on Facebook groups for your town or looking around on social media to see what other types of options are available. Or if you want to start one yourself, just send out a message to a few close friends who are nearby and see if anyone is interested. But the other option these days is to find something online because there are a ton of unique options out there now that go beyond just your traditional meet once a month in-person book club. I know that Instagram has a lot of options for buddy reads. So different bookstagrammers who are out there often host buddy reads either monthly or throughout the year where they pick a book or a topic and you can choose which individual book you want to read, which is great for mood readers. And then they'll add you to a private direct message group chat so that you can talk with other readers as you're going along the books. Some of them, like I said, are very specific books and they will even have a guided how many chapters to read each week type thing. Others are very loose and flowy and just allow you to read whatever you want and talk about books at your leisure. So those are a great low-key option that still give you some connection related to books. There are also now different Facebook groups available that work with authors to set up author chats or Facebook groups that discuss certain types of books. So they're a great way to connect online with fellow readers who have the same interests as you. I also know that different bloggers have new online book clubs as part of a monthly membership. So one of my friends over at Beyond the Bookends just set up their new monthly membership for 2025 and you can join it now. It has a ton of great options for connecting and I know they're going to do an amazing job interacting with their readers and their authors. So as part of their book club, you get a monthly book club Zoom call with an author of the book that you'll be reading. They also are going to set up their own Facebook group and give you an exclusive reading guide for as you're reading along with the book. Plus, they're going to offer a monthly book highlights chat that they'll do on Zoom, again, to connect with their readers and then just go over some new books that they're looking forward to each month. So you get a ton of value from these type of monthly memberships. It's very cheap usually, and it supports smaller content creators, which I think is so exciting. Plus, it gives you a chance to interact with them more directly versus, some of these huge Facebook groups are just almost impossible to navigate. So I like these smaller, more intimate type settings that feel more like a real book club. My next resolution is going to challenge you to read a genre that you normally avoid. I know this can be difficult sometimes. I particularly like to get bogged down in romance and just never leave. But usually I try and read a few books each year that are outside of my normal genres. So whether that's nonfiction or something that's more science fiction, I like to just expand my reading universe a little bit by trying something that's outside of my comfort zone. So maybe this year you can try reading a romance for the first time or a horror book or something along those lines that's just a little bit different than what you would normally pick up. My next resolution is to try a new reading format. These days, it's extremely easy to read any format of book, whether it's physical books, audiobooks, or ebooks. All of them are widely available. So maybe normally you just read physical books and haven't picked up a Kindle or haven't listened to an audiobook in ages. I encourage you to break out of your comfort zone a little bit and maybe try something in a different format than what you would normally read. Years ago, it took me forever to finally give in and try reading books on a Kindle because I was so devoted to physical books. And more recently, I avoided audiobooks at all costs because I thought I couldn't get into something if I was just listening to it. But now I read all of these different formats almost equally, and I found it super helpful, depending on the situation, to have access to every type of format and equally enjoy it because I can get more reading in that way. If you don't normally read ebooks or listen to audiobooks, there are so many different types of resources available now. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use your library to find books for free, or there's a lot of subscriptions that are very easy to use, like Libro FM is an audiobook subscription that rivals Audible, and it supports indie bookstores, which I absolutely love. If you like ebooks, then Kindle Unlimited could be a great option because you can read as many books as you want for just $12 a month through Amazon's Kindle program. My next bookish resolution is for those of us that have a little too many books in our house, and that is to read books that you already own. I have a tendency to buy books, put them on my shelf, admire them, and then never pick them up because I get too distracted by the next book that comes along. So sometimes my goal for the year is to read more of the books on my own bookshelves. Plus, once you're done with them, you can either donate them or sell them on Pango Books or Facebook Marketplace and make room for more new books that way. And last but not least, my kind of bonus bookish resolution is to try a book subscription box. I adore these, and I think they are just so much fun because you get new book mail each month or each quarter, and they often come with like bookish accessories or little goodies that make the reading experience so much fun. There are also just so many options available because they've become so popular that you can truly find a book subscription that will be best for you. I put the links down below in the description to a few posts that I've put together with my favorite types of book subscription boxes. There is truly something for everyone, whether you're like a romance reader or fantasy or young adult or just want a wide variety of books in general. You can find something that you'll love. And there's a variety of different price points, whether you want to stick to just books at a cheaper price point or you want to go all out with all these really unique books and gifts that go along with them. I have just found so much joy in getting these book subscription boxes, and I typically like to try like a new one each year to see what they're like. I hope you have a wonderful reading year in 2025, and make sure you hit like on this video and subscribe to my channel to see even more book recommendations and bookish videos next year.